Have you ever sat in a meeting that could have been an email and then another meeting about why that meeting didn't solve anything? Let's see what your life looks like as an office worker on every level of meetings. Level 1, the intern. You joined the meeting 3 minutes late because you couldn't find the link. It was in the calendar invite. You didn't read the calendar invite. Nobody told you there was a calendar invite. You sit with your camera off because you're not sure if you're supposed to be here. Honestly, nobody's sure either. Your manager said just join and take notes. You don't know what notes to take. You don't know what the meeting is about. You don't know who half the people on the call are. Someone says, let's go around and introduce ourselves. Your heart rate doubles. You write your intro in the chat first to practice. Then you say it out loud. Your name, your role, and I'm just here to observe. You don't speak again for 40 minutes. You nod. You smile. You give a thumbs up emoji when someone makes a joke you don't understand. You write action items in your notebook and then stare at it. What are action items? You don't know. You'll Google it after the call. When someone says, any questions? You look at the screen like a deer in headlights. You have a question. You've had it since minute 10, but you'd rather die than ask it in front of 12 people. The meeting ends. Someone says, great, thanks everyone. You unmute for the first time in 45 minutes and say, thank you, too quietly. Nobody hears you. You leave wondering if you still have a job. You check Slack every 30 seconds for the next hour. Nobody messages you. You think you've been fired. You haven't. Nobody noticed you were there. Level 2, the junior. You join on time. Not early. You're not a psycho, but on time. Camera on but angled so nobody sees the pile of laundry behind you. You mute when you're not talking. You unmute to speak. There's a 1 second delay because you forgot how to unmute. Sorry, I was on mute is your catchphrase. You say it at least twice per meeting. You have a notebook open. You're not writing in it. You're scrolling on your phone under the desk. Instagram. A friend sent you a meme. You laugh on mute. And your face does that weird thing where you're smiling at your phone during a serious budget discussion. Someone notices. You pretend you're taking notes. Very enthusiastically. You contribute once. It's a question that was already answered 10 minutes ago. Wait, when's the deadline? Everyone stares. Someone sighs. We said Friday, 10 minutes ago. You say, right, right, got it. You didn't get it. You'll ask again in the group chat later. You take notes because that's what juniors do. You'll never look at those notes again. When the meeting ends, you say, great, thanks everyone, and immediately forget everything that was discussed. You have one skill the intern doesn't. You know what action items means? You just don't do them. Level 3, the senior. You send the agenda the night before. Nobody reads it. You know nobody reads it. You send it anyway. You start the meeting with, let's keep this to 20 minutes. It will not be 20 minutes. You say it anyway. It's a ritual. You screen share like it's a sport. You have a slide deck. It has too many slides. Slide 4 has a chart nobody can read but everyone nods at. You assign action items to specific people with deadlines. You say things like, let's take this offline and circle back next week, and I want to make sure we're aligned. You use corporate jargon like a second language. You say deep dive and mean a 5 minute tangent. You say low hanging fruit, and nobody knows what you're talking about. When someone goes off topic, you pull them back, firmly. Let's park that. You park everything. Nothing gets unparked. You end the meeting exactly on time. Not early. You're not a maniac. But on the dot. People secretly find you annoying. They also wish they were you. You have one power the junior doesn't. You know how to say, let's take this offline, and actually make the meeting shorter. You just never use that power, because deep down, you enjoy the meeting. The meeting is your kingdom. The agenda is your crown. Level 4, the manager. You didn't just attend this meeting, you scheduled it for 50 people to share one update, an update that could have been a Slack message, a one-line Slack message. But no, you wanted visibility, you wanted alignment, you wanted everyone to hear it from you directly. Nobody wanted to hear it from you directly. You start with, I want to make sure everyone's on the same page. Nobody was on the same page. Nobody is now. You talk for 30 minutes. You use the word synergy unironically. You say moving forward so many times it loses all meaning. You say, I hear you, when you absolutely do not hear anyone. You ask, any thoughts? You already have a plan. You've had the plan since before the meeting. The meeting was never about input. It was about telling people the plan in a way that looks collaborative. The meeting ends. You say, great discussion, everyone. It wasn't a discussion. It was a monologue with mandatory attendance. You schedule a follow up. It's called Follow Up Sync. It's next Tuesday. It will also be 30 minutes. It will also be unnecessary, but you need it. Because without meetings, what are you? Just a person with a title and no calendar. The calendar is the title, bonus level, the consultant. You don't work here, you've never worked here, you'll never work here. You were hired for 6 weeks at a rate that would make the CFO cry. If the CFO knew, the CFO doesn't know. The CEO approved it over golf. You have a PowerPoint with 47 slides. Slide 1 says agenda. Slide 2 says context setting. You're already on slide 2 and nobody knows what's happening. You use words nobody in the company has ever used. Paradigm shift. Blue ocean strategy. Capability maturity model. You draw a 2x2 matrix on the whiteboard. Everyone nods. Nobody knows what the axes are. You put current state in the bottom left quadrant. You put future state in the top right. Between them, an arrow. The arrow is labeled transformation journey. The journey has no steps. The arrow has no timeline. But it looks professional, and that's what they're paying for. You interview everyone individually. Each interview is 45 minutes. You ask questions like, what does success look like for you? And if you could change one thing, what would it be? People tell you things they've told their manager 6 times. Their manager never listened. You will listen. You will put it in a deck. The deck will be 90 pages. Nobody will read it, but it will exist. And that's what they're paying for. You present your findings in a 2-hour session. You call it a workshop. You put people in breakout rooms. They discuss. They brainstorm. They write on digital sticky notes. The sticky notes are never seen again. You end with next steps. The next steps are, we'll send a follow-up. The follow-up is an email. The email has an attachment. The attachment is the 90-page report. Nobody opens it. Someone will months later, when searching for something unrelated, they'll skim page 12 and close it. Your contract ends. You shake hands. You say, it's been a pleasure collaborating with this team. You mean it. You're a nice person. You're just very expensive and very unnecessary. You leave. The company has spent 6 weeks and 6 figures. What changed? Nothing. What was delivered? A deck. What was the deck about? Nobody remembers. But the CEO tells the board they've completed a strategic transformation initiative. The board nods. The stock goes up. You get a LinkedIn recommendation. You use it to get the next gig. The cycle continues. Level 5. The CEO. You don't attend meetings. You appear. You walk in 2 minutes late. No laptop, no notebook, just a coffee. Someone is mid-sentence when you enter. They stop. Everyone looks at you. You don't acknowledge this. You sit down, take a sip of coffee and say, quick update from me. Great work. Keep it up. That's it. That's your entire contribution. You leave. The meeting continues for another 20 minutes about what you meant. Did great work mean we're getting bonuses? Did keep it up mean we're getting fired? Nobody knows. You didn't clarify. Clarification is not your job. Your job is to appear, inspire, and disappear. You have no calendar, you have no email, you have an assistant, your assistant has an assistant. You've never opened Slack, you don't know what Slack is. Someone mentioned the group chat once and you nodded like you knew what they meant. You didn't. You walk through the office once a quarter. People whisper when you pass. That's the CEO. You wave, you smile. You don't know most of their names, it doesn't matter. They know yours. You are the office ghost, a very well-paid ghost, who has never attended a full meeting and never will. If you're still an intern, hang in there. Nobody noticed you were there, which means nobody noticed when you left. That's power. If you're a consultant, nice deck. If you're a CEO, we know you didn't read the 90-page report. Subscribe for the next one.